episode number
92.
92.
Yep.
Oh, wait. Now I'm hearing an echo.
Echo?
All right. So anyway, we got to have a... Okay, so... I wasn't really prepared to post today, but okay, here we go. We are a podcast show.
Professional. Be professional.
Okay.
Right.
We are a podcast show to talk about arcade games and hang out and have fun. We like to hang out and chat, and that's why it's called the Arcade Hangout. And
How many times are you going to say hang out in that sentence?
I love being on podcast shows.
And before we talk about anything, I think we should talk about the Grinkers Grink Fest 5 coming up in October.
Absolutely.
If you're on Clav, I'm sure you already know about it. But if you're not and you're interested in a few different arcade tournaments that we'll be having over there, we're going to be having our main tournament, which is just like a regular arcade tournament for high score. There'll be judges and everything else like that. But we're also going to have... I believe a small Nat. Do you need to say something, Andrew?
Nope. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought you were holding your finger up. Okay, also, we're going to do
I was
Nat
moving my microphone down just so I could support you. Nope. I'll just interrupt if I need to say something.
Oh, okay. So we're going to be doing a Nat tournament to start things off, just to kind of break the ice with everybody, in case there's some people coming that don't know each other, which there always is. There's always new people. And it's a lot of fun. We the tournament consists of, we'll probably just do maybe 2 or 3 games, but they're really fun competition games where we get grouped into teams randomly, picked at random out of a hat, out of a Devo hat, hopefully. And you'll be playing games like versus Joust, where one person controls the bird and the other person flaps, and you yell at each other who's going to kill each other and stuff. So if you ever want to kind of check out our first Nat tournament that we did in Denver, Colorado, come to my channel, Mock the Magic Man, on YouTube, and you can see the Nat video that I edited and GAC film that I edited and threw it together. And I thought it was a really good video to be able to show what the event was like. It was just a lot of fun, big blast. So
yeah, that was good. By the way, Nat stands for naked.
Yeah, I forgot to say what Nat
naked and titty.
Not another tournament. Sorry, I forgot to.
Sexist around here.
Titties and testicles. All right.
So let's.
Harry's face how he's clapping.
So what's fun about this tournament, though, is that if you're not really good at Popeye or whatever games that are in the tournament, this evens the playing field. So we play games like like Blindfolded Frogger, where your teammate and you work together as a team, and the person controlling the frog is blindfolded, and the other person has to call out the moves. Forward, left, right, stop, forward. Ah, shit. That kind of thing.
Back.
Yeah. So it makes it a lot of fun, and it makes it a big group effort instead of just working on your own to do scores.
Right.
Which there'll be plenty of time for that later.
It'd be like one game at a time.
One game
Maybe
at a time.
Two if we get too many people, but like one game at a time. A big crowd around you. Everyone's joining in the fun, having cheers and jeers and laughter.
Hugging.
I mean, when we played versus Street Fighter, a lot of people didn't know how to play Street Fighter, but it was still fun because good luck getting special moves off when one person's doing movement and the other person's doing buttons. It makes it real hard to throw fireballs. So it does make for an interesting competition, though. And we had people screaming and yelling, and you'll see all that in the video. So come to youtube.com/mockthemagicman and check out the Nat video, and you can see what it's all about. And then that'll be at Grinkers too. I think there's also oh, go ahead.
Sorry, and that's a special side tournament we're doing.
That's what I was going to say. That's the opening tournament before the big tournament. It's just a little get together. I think we're going to do it early on Friday, right?
Friday night social, right?
Friday night social. It's the meet and greet part of the whole big tournament, which actually is going on, and that's the very serious tournament. That's like the arcade. If you are good at high scores,
the ringers come out.
You want to participate. I mean, this is like where you come out to shine. This is an official Arcade, AURCADE.com sanctioned event. You can actually set world records at this event. So for those serious people who actually do want to come out and participate in the tournament,
that'll be there as well.
Happening, yeah.
So we have something for everybody. We have people that are for the hardcore, and we have something for the people that just want to have fun. And not only that, but it gets everybody like talking with each other and having fun, and kind of breaks the ice of finally getting to meet the people that you always see on Clav, and and the people that you don't like, you can punch in the face. So,
right.
Hey, no, you can't. There's no special what happens at Grinkers stays at Grinkers exception for complete flagrant law breaking. Yeah. Just saying.
Everybody's super nice.
Friendly punch in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
However, Steve Barbie, who runs Grinkers, is actually one of our earliest hosts for the show.
Yes.
He no longer comes on because our content is not family appropriate. And his establishment is extremely family appropriate.
Yep.
So this podcast is no reflection on Steve's family appropriateness.
Yeah.
No.
Is that a word? So Steve is like a founding member of this group right here, and he puts on an amazing event. He takes incredibly good care of us. The official dates are October 13th and 14th. He does, in the past, my understanding this is still going to be true for this year, but $1 beers, and we're not talking about like Bud Light or Coors Light or
Sorry,
creamsicle beer.
Nice IPA.
A beer you might expect to spend $1 on in a bar, but like actually no, his for the arcade tournament participants, he does $1 beers for his entire tap collection, which is great beers. I think all of his wines are $1 as well. And his food is half price, and his food is not expensive anyway. So you're talking amazing sandwich foods and other stuff they do there.
Oh, the deli sandwiches are delicious. Yeah.
I think my whole tab by the end of the weekend last year was $32 for the entire.
And that's like eating 4 sandwiches a day.
And that's just buying like everyone a drink that you can see.
Yeah. No, that's totally like the story from years past. Is like, yeah, you get out of there and it's like the whole weekend you have a tab, and at the end of it, it's like $30, $40, and you're like, I was drunk the whole weekend and stuffed with sandwiches.
Yep.
How is it possible that my tab is $30? It doesn't make any sense. It's crazy.
But that's one of the things that makes it special, and we look forward to every year. It's a once-a-year event, and everybody looks forward to it. If you ever read the Clav postings from people that have gone in the past, everybody has such fond memories of this event. I mean, more than any other event that I've read about.
This is the big
they're
one.
just like, I can't wait for Drinkers. I can't wait. Then you got people that haven't gone yet, but they've heard about it. They're like, oh my gosh, I keep hearing about this event. I can't wait to check this out. I've been wanting to go, but there's always something that's been happening. But this year, I finally get to go. I'm so excited. So, that's great. It's just so cool to see, the people that have gone in the past that really show how special it really is. It's something that we really look forward to every year. And Steve is so great as a host. And
that's a really thing. We've talked about this before in the show, but I think like this is a good time to like push it back in too. It's like there's the arcade events, there's CAX, which is awesome. Like it's a shitload of games. It's an amazing collection of incredible games you don't see very frequently. You see all the friends and faces that you're used to seeing. It's awesome. Then there's like, the Fun Spot. So I'm just talking about the tournaments that I've been to. So Fun Spot, we put on a good show out there. Fun Spot is an amazing arcade mecca that everyone has heard about, either from King Kong or just being part of the community and understanding that Fun Spot's this big deal. But like these are like events that happen, but Drinkers is like hanging out with one of your friends at their own fucking amazing arcade, which has great games, and he's an incredible host, and he's feeding you beer for basically free. And that's the difference. It's like these are events that are happening like as collections of arcades, or at Fun Spot, which is a traditional arcade. Going to Steve, going to Grinkers, it's like going to a buddy's house.
It's like a weekend party.
Yeah, it's like going to so you guys came here to my place for Denver, but it's like if I had 150 fucking games, and they all were working perfect. And
that'd be about half of Grinkers.
yeah. So it's like going to your buddy's house, and he's got all the games that you'd ever want to play, and we hang out and we have a great time. And the tournament is the reason why we get together, but it isn't the point of getting together.
Yeah, I agree. I go to Grinkers every year just to see everybody, because I'm terrible at nearly every game that was ever made, ever. But I can spend the entire weekend at the bar getting very, very drunk and meeting everyone.
And completely remember Jason Buffalo.
So if you want to come to Grinkers, get drunk, and then constantly just look at me and say, laser printer, over and over again. People like doing that too.
And if you bring your wife, and she's not a beer drinker, but she's a wine drinker, she has something.
That's right.
Yeah, like Sylvia that comes with, Hector.
There's a handful of people there that don't drink
She
beer
might
or
have
wine.
wine. Doing
She only drinks hard alcohol.
That's right. In the parking lot.
Totally do not drink in the parking lot at all. That doesn't happen.
No, it never happens. It never happens in the back of a car in the parking lot.
Nope, that never happened.
Hard alcohol, ever.
We do not finish up 2 bottles of whiskey and a bottle of vodka.
That also did not happen.
I didn't see any of that.
No.
For real.
I didn't see any of that for real either. What the
What did I
heck?
miss? What did I not miss?
Well, you obviously didn't miss the group photo.
You weren't even swiping left yet.
Which, by the way, the group photo every year is around 3 or 4 p.m. So just plan on being there between 3 and 5.
I'd just go with the Photoshop route from now on.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what worked out really
Saturday.
good is where they put down on top of the little signs that said tournament game. You know, the games that we knew were in the tournament had a little sign above it. You know, it said tournament.
Yeah.
And then underneath it said group photo Saturday at 5 o'clock out front or whatever.
I know who suggested that.
Who was that guy?
Yeah.
What's
That
that?
was a great idea. We should do that again this year.
I think that I screwed up something. Like at Brofest the year before, I had too much information on it. So like people aren't reading that. The writing's too small.
Yeah, it's got to
Just
be.
leave it
to
a
the
group
point.
photo and the time. The date and time. So.
Wash your hands after you take a shit. And
Yeah.
Please flush the toilet.
yeah.
Yeah, bring your own URL actually to the games.
And Mark, I was listening while I was kind of getting ready here. You mentioned Grigfest main stuff. So there's actually 3 tournaments.
Yeah, I was gonna get to
going
the
on.
third one. I did.
So there's the main one, which is 10 to 12 assorted games, and then there's a Black and White or Bronze Age challenge. It's usually 4 games, I think, and then same with the Manufacturer Challenge. It's about 4 games. So they're, if they don't want to do 12 games, they can just do 4, pick one. We had a lot of people last year.
Oh, I thought you were
Black
going to
and
talk
White
about the pinball tournament.
Oh no, that was going to be something else, I guess.
Yeah,
I thought
that was the other
like
thing.
what is actually known as Greenfest.
Yeah,
There's
I
3
wasn't going to go into all
there's
that.
3
but
tournaments
yeah, you're
that are
right.
Greenfest. The other stuff is just kind of like side things going on.
Side things for fun. Mhm.
Yeah. So, like what you said about what we're doing to kind of kick things off, it'd only be maybe a couple hours there at the beginning. So,
Yeah.
the pin stuff, I didn't know anything about it until seeing it. Steve making a comment in the thread. So,
Yeah, we're not
it sounds like a
doing
local
that.
just kinda-
So
yeah.
I mean, we're not.
Greenfest, that's just if you want to just play pins only, that's cool, man. Everybody have a good time. Do your own thing. So.
Yeah.
Yep. So looking forward to it though. And Andrew, how many games do you have in your garage? Just for reference.
20.
20. And guess how many I'm going to be hauling to Idaho.
Yeah, dude. You're gonna have more games in your fucking that van than will be in my garage. That's true.
So Steve didn't say to be quiet about it, I guess. So I don't know.
I mean, there was no like crazy games that he mentioned there that were like, oh
No.
shit.
I think Computer Space. I think was one of them.
Well, why did you say that, dude?
Oh,
Did you just fucking dump that? I was trying to like play it cool. You're like, oh yeah,
Cool, like Gwen Stefani.
he started out by saying, "Hey, Kat,
Stop it! Right. Alexa just freaked out on me.
Uh-oh, the VR porn's kicking in. Griffin, where are you? We have missed you so much. It has been over 2 hours since we saw you. Yeah. So, anyways, Steve, he started out by saying, "Hey, Gak, I got an idea. You're in Northern California. You want to haul some games for me?" While like on the way to Grinkfest, I'm like, "Yeah, I could probably do something. We could probably work something out." And he's like, "There's about 12 games." So, Andrew, I think it was like maybe last Friday. I was like, "Hey, so I was calling on the truck, and I need to know exactly how many games. Is it 12, or are we talking a few more or less?" And then Saturday he texted saying, "Oh, it looks like there's 22 games." I'm like, all right. Suddenly it's a big haul, so it'll be good. I'm gonna try to get footage of it and stuff, so it'll be fun. Got my son going with me too, so.
Well, I'm sure he'll give you you'll get a free beer out of it. So
yeah, maybe, yeah. Help cover the hundreds of dollars in gas and truck rental and all that.
Hey, Gak, are you still going to try and do the beer water thing, or?
Yeah, I'll attempt to. I tried to get my son to do that 2 years ago, and it was kind of like 4 beers, maybe a water, 8 beers, maybe a water. I think the main thing is to try to stick with the light beers. The heavier beers will just kick your ass, man, if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, it was Sweetgrass.
No,
IPAs.
He started
IPAs.
Yeah.
He had
the American Pale Ales. That was fucking bullshit, man. Those things were like.
No, he didn't have Sculpin there.
On the first night or so, he had something. It was Sculpin or something. It was like.
No, I've never seen
8%. I can't remember what it was. I was saying, don't drink that shit. You're gonna get fucked.
Yeah.
It didn't last very long. I think it was only like 1 keg or so.
No, it was the Grand Tetons. It was that fucking American Pale Ale, that Sweetgrass they have there. And we were drinking it's like a little hoppy kind of pale ale, no big deal.
Yeah.
And we're drinking like 10 or 12 of those in one night. We're like, oh shit!
Right.
How could something
actually, as it turns out, that will fuck you up.
Man, I was in swamp ass IPA.
So there's going to be, we're going to have prizes. We're going to be prizes and goodies.
Yeah, there's I think 12-ish sponsors, something like that, with looks like over $2,000 worth of stuff.
Yep.
Thanks to probably 3-4 people online with us right now.
There will be no cash prizes. However, we will have prizes.
Handy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think the first year or two it was kind of smaller and there wasn't sponsor stuff. So Steve wanted to do something, even on top of him spending thousands of dollars for other stuff.
If there are cash prizes, there's nothing promised. So if it happens, then you should be stoked. But that's not part of what we're
going into it expecting it. Yeah.
This is a fun tournament. It's always meant to be a fun tournament. It's fucking free to enter.
Yeah.
You will not get a cash prize unless we decide to magically make that happen for you. But
and it's mainly designed originally to be KLV members, active collectors to get together.
Yeah,
nothing against the pure gamer guy, but
if in some year you're spending $60, which is what the Fun Spot tournament costs, if you're spending $60 to enter this fucking tournament that we're doing for free today, maybe you should expect like a cash prize of some kind to come in first and second and third. But yeah, none of that shit. So we've got some amazing sponsors who are giving us great prizes for arcade collectors. This is a community event.
Yeah. And also another huge thing that I think I mentioned to you before, but the VIP thing is a big deal because that's how we're able to get the banner, get like posters, all the little bonus
T-shirts,
Yeah, like the extra stuff done on shirts and stuff. So
all the shit we give you guys for free.
Yeah,
that's coming from the VIPs, and every VIP is super important to us.
Yep. So
also,
thank you all those guys.
We should give a shout out to the main sponsor this year, Purina Cat Litter. They will be providing most of the prizes. in 10-pound, 20-pound, and 40-pound bags. So make sure you drink.
Wait, is that British? You're
Suitcase.
talking about 10-pound, 20-pound? Is that
pounds? It's a measure of weight, you ignorant fuck.
That's not nice. I mean, I was bumping and setting you for a proper joke, and you.
What? I'm off.
Ignorant fuck.
I'm all irritated because of my power supply.
I was making a pound joke. This should have been an easy one.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Should we try again?
No, I'm over it.
It's over. It's past. You blew it.
Just a little off tonight. This
I
is
hate
not
that joke.
Yeah, we're all off. We're not drunk enough. That's why. No fart noises either.
Yeah. Well, Jimbo is not here providing a proper soundtrack to
He
our.
should be on shortly, though, right?
True.
He was saying maybe
It's true.
half hour.
Yeah. It's only 9:30 fucking mountain.
But anyway, I think we can all agree that if you don't come to Grinkers, then you suck. I think really that's the message, right?
It really is pretty much what it boils down to. I mean,
Yeah.
This is the premier arcade event for the year. And I think all of us, we've been to a lot of different shows, the group of us. This is like the big one. This is like the brotherhood one, the family one.
And sisterhood.
I don't mean that. Yeah, sisters involved in the brotherhood too. That's not a sexist thing. Awkward.
Let's just say I gave Fly a wet willy last year, and he didn't punch me in the face. That's how much love there is there.
And that dude knows how to play track and field. And Excite Bike. Launching in Wet Willie his wife.
No, I would never wet willy Sylvia. She would fucking kill me.
She would, actually. She'd be more drunk on whiskey and fucking lay you out.
Oh yeah, no, you don't mess with Sylvia. She's crazy.
Yeah.
But Fly, he's a little more chill. You know, he'll let you get away with a little more.
So to get another arcade topic out of the way, the weekly challenge. I hear an echo.
Are we still doing that?
Do we have one?
Echo.
What was the game this week?
It was the big.
It was the go ahead.
big tournament, the big finale, the
The 2-week long.
Well, we sure talked that up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well,
I'm a little burnt.
Yeah, I mean we had all the Denver stuff going on, and then now it's like Grinkers mode. You know,
Yeah.
It's hard.
So we got to announce the winner for it, and who came in second and third.
So who's our champion for
Can you bring it up on your computer? On your website?
Oh, can you share it?
yeah.
The enthusiasm is palpable.
Well, there were some technical
I posted a link
difficulties
in
in
our
getting
chat.
in getting that.
Griffin
Yeah,
was all
yeah,
busy swiping and whatnot. Couldn't update the website.
I think that website sounded like it was
kick
more
down
of a pain in the
however
ass.
many hundreds to upgrade his free website that people use.
Yeah.
I'm back on track. I've found my mojo again this week. I was talking about it. I've been in the shed like all evening working on games, and we had the arcade party this Saturday when Mark and Keith and everyone came around. I'm feeling it. I'm back in it. I'm
Nice.
coming back, baby. So don't worry. I'll be back into the website, and we'll get it all up and running. I had to have my annual I hate the hobby a couple of months, which I think we all have for a little while. There, where I was just like, look at all my games. I'm like, and go watch TV instead. But yeah, this last week or so, really sort of started feeling the buzz again. So I'm back.
Oh, excellent.
I'm back, baby.
Nice.
Awesome.
Woo.
So what does that mean that there's going to be renewed enthusiasm for the weekly tournament, or we're still going to try to do
Well,
this?
I don't know if anyone else will have any enthusiasm for it, but I'll be honest.
I will say it would be helpful to me, at least, for somebody who, you know, I don't have a multi in anything. So I'm I'll play the games as long as I have access to them by doing that classic arcade, basically I'll do it on my computer if it's there.
The arcade archive website.
Yeah, exactly. So if we can do games that are, I think, more accessible to people, because there were some that's like, oh, I do it, but that's like, oh, it's not on there. And I just don't have the means to do it. Like I did Scramble when I was at Zyla's, so that was cool. But it just happened to be that Zyla had it, and so I was able to play it. So, and it would be nice to be able to join the conversation. So anyway, that'd be my 2 cents. Is it might be helpful to other people also who don't have, a multi, a 60-in-1 or a 5,000-in-1 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, we also have to work out a way to decide how we're going to pick the games or whatever for the next week. We have the best intentions of, okay, the winner gets to pick the next game. It seemed like an obvious thing to do, but then we're seeing a situation where the same people just keep winning over and over and over
maybe
again.
we need to decide what the season is before we start it. It's like, all right, so the season is going to be these 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, that's what I was
pick them ahead of time.
Yeah.
We all can go into it knowing, all right, so these games work for these systems, Arcade SD, 16-in-1. They're available on the internet. And then MAME obviously would do anything, but yeah. No, it's tough too, because like even with the Arcade SD thing, like with Scramble, like that's like an 8-way game. I can't play that on my one game to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want people getting.
I'm gonna go ahead and volunteer myself. Too busy to do this, but if anybody else wants to do it, if you want to make a list of all 3 versions, like what do they have in common? What's the list of games that all 3 have? Arcade SD, 60-in-1, and archive website.
Well, the good thing about
that there might be only 12 games to pick from or something. I don't know.
The good thing about lining up, say, 6 games at a time is I can put them all in one tournament, and then we'll just activate them one game at a time. Or do we want to say, look, we're going to have 6 games. It's a 6-week tournament. You can play them in any order you want, as much as you want each game, and just leave it wide open. Like, here's the 6 games. It's going to go 6 weeks, and then it's just on. So if you've done well in one game, you can focus more on another one because you're feeling confident about your score. We could try that. It doesn't have to. We don't have to arbitrarily lock it down to a game a week. Right. I mean, I think we should just experiment and see how people enjoy it. We came out with the best intentions. Hey, this will be a good idea. Everyone was pumped. But then obviously there were some logistical issues and we tripped over our own feet a little bit. It's not because anyone wasn't trying their hardest. It's just because we had to assume.
Another thing we should try to maybe revisit too, and I thought that was a lot of fun, if we can find the right game, of course, is to try to do like a live stream that we're all actually playing the game. It's just like a 2-hour long thing. And
that was cool.
Whoever can do it within our group or other people, if we can get them to join somehow, we're doing a live video feed of that game for a couple hours.
Maybe
I think we actually did multiple games, didn't we? Yeah.
The last night of the 6 weeks on like a Saturday night or something, or a Friday night, and that's the live stream. It's the last night of the 6 weeks, so it's everyone's opportunity to really go for it on that last night. Something like that.
Yeah,
we could do that.
Because I thought that was pretty fun because it felt like we were, we weren't in the same room, but it felt like we were all playing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting actually. I didn't expect the feeling of competition to be there, but it definitely was, even though we were all in different places.
Yeah.
Plus, we all had our mics on, so we could hear each other, like, screaming profanity when we get killed and stuff.
Yeah.
That was fun.
All right, we'll keep playing with it. I mean, we can't expect it to be perfect on day one.
So, Andrew, can you present maybe? I showed the link in our.
Oh, was that going to present you?
Well, no, I put a link in our chat to the website.
Oh, I have no idea how to do that.
For the scoreboard?
The share screen. I can try, but I might make it all blow up here.
You're presenting, dude.
Can you see my screen? The Arcade Hangout screen? Okay, I don't know how to share screen.
You're very handsome.
Yeah, let's see here.
You're even more handsome when you're
dimples, huh? Yeah.
Can I force it to
Oh, where did Michael Jackson in the 70s video?
I have to log out.
That's a bad idea.
Okay,
Wait,
hold on. Are we
I'll
back
stop.
to normal?
Yeah, I'll stop broadcasting that shit.
So it won't.
So fun.
When I try to share screen, that's what happened last time. Remember, I blew it all up.
Yeah. All right.
It's pretty cool. It's like a
try.
retro.
Oh no! If I do that, it does something terrible.
Ghostbusters. Sorry. I'll talk someone
What happened?
at 8:47.
Mine does that
Let's
shit.
share it on the other. Let me try to share the other screen. Actually, let's see if this works.
All right, dude. Oh yeah.
Does that work?
There it is.
Okay. What I had to do is put it on my other monitor, and then I selected that monitor
All
to
right.
be the share screen.
No, wait, wait.
So if you can see, can you see my pointer here? So
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
know.
like we
It's
had-
choppy, so go slow.
okay, looks like we had 3 people that actually attempted them. So and actually Frizzle Fried, he's the one who said he only played 1 game of each. Like that's what he wanted to do, like a single quarter drop,
Wow.
no multiple
He kicked
attempts.
ass.
Yeah, so
Whale,
Wow.
everyone.
Frizzle Fried, good job. But
he got them all except for Super Mario Brothers, which Slick Nick took. That's an
Slick
amazing
Nick.
score, by the way. Over
Holy
400,000.
shit.
Yeah, right. So, does it show the overall? I mean, it's clear Frizzle Fry is the overall winner. Do you know on this, Griffin? Like, how does it show? Oh, it's okay. There it is. It just says first, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah. The
first
points
is Frizzle
on
Fried.
the
And
left.
even though he got, one of them he didn't get first, but yeah, so Frizzle Fried's first, Slick Nick got second, and Jayton G, I guess. How's it
That's
pronounced?
Slick Nick's son.
Oh, is it?
No.
Oh.
It is.
So he didn't play 1 game, and wow. Yeah, Fritz, awesome job, dude.
Yes. So he dominates.
Steve
the other
Barbie is
team.
in the chat.
Is that is this Steve Barbie?
So I'm gonna
Might
see
be.
if I can turn off my screen share now.
Yeah,
It
I'll
says
stop that.
Steve Barbie.
Back to normal.
Nice job.
All right, back to normal. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, Frizzy Bear, you won. Congratulations! Yay!
Congrats.
What does he win?
I don't know. What does he win? You don't have to share a room with me this year at Grinkers. That's
There you
That's a golden prize right there.
Yeah.
Very golden.
So yeah, Frizzy, I guess, and Slick Nick. I mean, you guys please give input also if you have any suggestions of different formats or something, so we can try to get more people playing. Myself personally, it's hard for me to try to do these. I'm wah, juggling a lot, blah blah blah, right? So,
This is like arcade tournament season.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
I
kinda
think
tapped
the
out for
main
time.
thing is we have to put some kind of divider on anything that Frizzy scores. So like a divided by 10, like on all the Frizzy
Yeah.
scores, so everyone else stands a chance.
right. No, but I mean, like you guys said, maybe we consider, try to make sure that it can be played in all 3 formats, and then maybe predetermine the 6 games, but either do
Maybe
them
we could
weekly
test that
or
out
all at
on
once.
Thursday.
I mean, and this group probably
Yeah.
should be a little bit more committed to actually playing the games.
Yeah.
Which I will
I
do
agree.
as long as I have the ability to do it. But that's where I'm like, hey, just if we could make it so you can actually, I'll be there. I'll do every single one as long as I have a way to play it.
Well, I think everyone
And-
who wants to play.
And I'll come in
these-
last. By the way, that's my other promise. I will come in last.
I think
That's
everyone.
not a good attitude.
First for our fucking tournament.
kind of-
So
Oh, that's true. That's why I like that idea of that tournament. I was like, yes, it's a great. It levels the playing field.
Typical female response. They always
Yeah.
come last.
mhm.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
not in my
But
house.
we're really excited when we come in first.
No, but at least first or last in this house.
She wins for last, but I win for most frequent.
Yeah.
Frizzy said he's not that good. We just suck really bad. Yeah.
That's never really actually been an argument.
No.
Yeah, no argument there.
Nope.
This group has never claimed to be good at anything except for Eyes and Forgotten Worlds and
Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair. That's it.
I'll say this: when Jimbo sets his mind to the game, man, he'll lay the smack down. Just sure
You know, Gak, you deserve some props for that shit.
I can do
You've
all
got
right in the
some
game too. When I
focus.
put the
Yeah.
time in it, yeah.
Yeah.
You too? I mean, talking Rastan and Forgotten
Yeah.
Worlds. And,
I've got my 3 games.
so.
The rest of them are mediocre.
Yeah. That's like you think you're good at games, and then you go to one of these tournaments, and you're like, nope, I suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you play with these people that are like total ringers that'll just, trash you. So
Right.
you just kind of go, well, I'll just have a sandwich and a beer and enjoy myself.
Yeah.
That is actually why I came here, but I really kind of want to put up a score on Dragon's Lair. That sucks.
Yeah, when you got people like Kalen, and who was the guy that was above Kalen last year? That guy was like a maniac. He's just ripping through all the
Matt
games.
Hall, was it?
Matt Hall. Yeah.
He's out of like Portland or something, somewhere around there, I want to say. Somewhere in.
Northwest somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
Seattle or Portland.
So that's the other thing, too. I need to figure out, like, how do we try to reach out and see if any of those guys are going, Because
Well,
they're not on KLV.
supposed to be bringing his fucking belt back because he's got the Grinker's belt.
Right?
Or ship it. Someone should get in contact with him. I didn't even think about that. The
Yeah, I
belts.
wonder what locals know him out there.
Yeah.
I was wondering if, like, how else can we try to reach out to them? Because they signed up. I don't have their email, so maybe Clint has it.
I mean, I have them unless they signed up
Oh.
at the event.
Right, that's what they
They
did.
should be on
They signed
the
up at the
Oh,
event.
well, then I don't have those.
They're not on our Greenfest 4
Yeah.
list
All right. Well,
because that was basically all
then
pre-registered.
Clint would be the only guy we got to contact him
Yeah,
because he has their email addresses.
and the list I have actually, I mean, maybe 5 or 10 of them might not wind up going. But I got 110 people on the list right now, even though the thread says 70 or 80, whatever that is.
Those are confirmed.
Yeah,
The thing is, like, we've gone into every one of these events with like 80 or so confirmed for Grinkers, but we always end up over 100.
yeah, 20, 30 people show up
Yeah.
that didn't sign up or whatever. Yeah,
Like locals and stuff.
yeah,
And
or like I
locals
said,
or club people who just show up and just don't even bother to fucking pre-reg.
yeah.
jerks.
Oh, okay.
So pre-reg, let us help you.
Well, that's the thing.
Have
They're
better
not.
events.
They're not active in the forums, and most of this is like based out of KLV that
Yeah.
we're doing.
Yeah, like how
And
many?
I feel like I should try to maybe do something on Facebook or something because it seems like there's a lot of those people might be there, but aren't on KLV at all.
Yeah. There's the whole like group that doesn't like what is it like Kalen's group. There's some people over there that like talk about they want to go, but they they haven't gone yet. And, when I used to go to 2084, yeah, I would talk to some of them. Like Eric and stuff. Like, oh yeah, I want to go. I keep hearing about how fun it is. It's like, but they're not regular Clav people.
Right.
So that's but I am connected to them on Facebook. Maybe that's something I need to post.
No, that's a great thing. Is like it's a Clav focused community because like that really is sort of our epicenter of where we all hang out. But the thing is,
But if they're gonna go,
it's
they're gonna
not a
wanna
Clav
go.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, it's absolutely outside of that. So, I think the question you guys were saying, like, should I post the answer is, yeah, post on Facebook, post on fucking Twitter, post to everywhere.
Yeah.
Because
Arcade fans.
I want
anywhere you've got arcade people who are interested in maybe hanging out and drinking some beers and hanging out at like one of your awesome buddies' fucking arcades, they would be interested in this. It's not just a tournament; it's also an event, and it's an important one.
Yeah. So I try to get people to just email me. That way, I can get the dialogue going and get the information we need.
Right.
But we need to get all those shirts basically done by the end of next week.
Yeah. So what? The design is pretty close.
Yes.
It seems like you and Steve are both on board with what I came up with over the weekend.
Yep.
So if you guys are liking that, then we'll button that shit up. And
so yeah, it's basically, because I have to give them enough time to produce the shirts and ship them to get them on site. So pretty much by the end of next week, I need to know everybody that's going, what their shirt sizes are, if they're doing the VIP thing. That way you can update the artwork, and we release it that following Monday is my hope there. So
yeah.
Excited to see it.
Yeah.
The big reveal.
So
you guys have gotten some teasers, but you haven't seen the final.
Yeah.
Steve in chat, I'm just throwing this out there since he's listening to the show. Is there anything that we should cover that we haven't covered, or you can think of that we need to cover about the Drinkers event?
Yeah, tell us, Steve. Just
let us know, and
Dude, Dan, I totally.
Stage X says 34K fucks.
Mostly myself, I'm sorry to say. Man Adams is Dan from Colorado. You guys met him last year.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's actually the dude who provided our van for the drive from Colorado, the 12-hour drive that the Denver crew makes every fucking year as a journey cross-country through the wasteland that is Wyoming into, well, eventually Utah, which is also a fucking wasteland, but Idaho, and then we're there, and it's awesome.
So Steve says we need to increase the prize for the GAC award. Speaking of which, do we have certificates and stuff that we're going to be doing?
Hey, what?
Are we going to do certificates again?
We'll do certificates this year for sure.
Yeah.
So there'll be at least first, second, and third for the main tournament and whatever primary tournaments we did. We haven't announced even what the tournaments actually are. So there will be certificates for first, second, and third for whatever tournaments that Steve is sponsoring at
those three. Wait, are you talking about the manufacturing challenge, the black and white challenge, and the main?
The typical ones.
Yeah.
So in years past, we've done 3 tournaments. I have no idea what this year's tournaments are going to be, so I'm not going to tip my hat on that. Yeah. But any event tournaments that are sponsored by Steve at Grinkers, we will have certificates for.
We were thinking that Keith and I were thinking about making, those little clear.
Don't talk yet. Let's talk on the side.
All right.
All right. So we're working
about it yet.
No, I think you guys promote the fact that we're gonna do some exciting stuff for our own tournament, and this group who is doing a lot of the side work for Steve on this tournament, we're gonna do some awesome, fun stuff.
Yeah. We're working on extra bonus stuff that when it gets, we want to make it a surprise.
Yeah.
And,
this is not about us being hush-hush. We're just trying to make stuff exciting for you guys.
And pull it off, so we don't make any promises if something doesn't wind up working out.
If it's A and the prize is A.
There's lots of sponsor prizes, then there's certificates, other stuff. We do have some other things we're working on, but
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. So anyway, besides the prizes, it's still a great time, and I've come in 4th or 6th place almost every year, and I know I'm never gonna win number 1, but I still have a blast. I always try to beat Gak. He's the guy I try to beat. Fuck! I even went behind him last year. I was okay, Tutankhamun, show me what your strategy is. I watched him. He's doing what I do, but he just does it better.
That's great. Yeah, the very first year, it wasn't even called Greek Fest the first year, but that was my goal. Actually, was follow John around. I was checking his score on the projector, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I could beat anybody else, but I'm pretty sure I could beat him.
Yeah.
And I think I did, but then I wound up kicking ass on the Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, so you did some good scores that first year.
In between the 3 events, I had first place, second place, third place.
Yeah.
So, but there was only 30 or 40 people there that year, so not as much competition.
Yeah. Now we're getting some ringers in the door, so it's even harder. So. Uh-oh. Roof, roof, roof. So anyway.
So yeah, we'll have some fun times. It'll be a brilliant. Like if you can possibly make it out to Grinkers, this is really the event of the year. It is. Many of us consider our arcade mecca. It's an established arcade, hosted by a total bro, and he does a great job of having some amazing and rare games, and they all fucking work for the most part. Like,
oh, I gotta ask Steve. Steve, do you have Star Trek running yet?
Ooh, Star Trek, is it on the floor?
That's the one that I always see in the back room that it's never working.
I don't think he's ever had a Star Trek on the floor.
No, he's never had it on the floor. I was wondering if it's on the floor yet. Steve, are you there?
Well, give him a few seconds to respond. There's a delay.
Yeah, yeah, there's a little tape.
Oh, he's blushing.
Oh.
Oh, yep, it's on the floor. Yes, it's working.
Somebody shut that critic.
Oh, yes.
Oh!
I know not everyone's a fan of it, but I like that game. That's one of the games I like to play.
It's like it's a warp, spin, fire.
Yeah,
Warp,
but
spin, fire.
Yeah.
Warp, spin, fire.
Yeah. Torpedo away.
Yeah.
Run away.
Run away. Warp.
I don't know. I find that game fun. That's one of the games I grew up with. So.
Do you have much experience in the captain's chair?
Yes, I love. That's my favorite way to play it because the warp is right next to your thumb.
It's very cute.
It's not in the middle of the joist, the handle like it is on the stand-up. So you actually can get better scores on the sit-down version of it. And I used to play it a lot at Kalen's 2084 arcade.
Oh yeah,
and that was awesome there. And I had high score for about an hour. And then someone killed it. Some guy came in there and goes, Star Trek, that's my favorite game. Oh, and he just killed it. Yeah. But yeah, that's a fun game. I like that one.
Now, Steve, did you put up any? You had the Gradius score here, right?
Yeah, Gradius and
Gradius.
I put a decent score on Qbert at Joel's. I was playing it for a while. I can play that game for a good amount of time.
Yeah, you got a good score on Qbert here too.
Yeah, decent.
Yeah.
So I'm okay at some games.
Oh, you got Pengo too.
Pengo, yeah, that's not even my highest either.
I'm sure not.
I didn't even stack the. See, I know it isn't because I didn't stack the bricks enough times. You know.
Yeah.
That's where you get the big points. So. But.
I'm just looking at my high score.
Yeah, Andrew's high score board, which we saw for the first time when we came down to visit.
Right.
So anyway, is there anything else we want to cover on Brinkfest 5?
Grinkers, go. If you're on the fucking fence, just go. Like, if you can make this happen, like financially, it's not that expensive. I mean, like, it's really not when you get there. Again, your bar tab, you'll get hammered and be full to your fucking neck with sandwiches and chopped pickles for the whole weekend.
I was talking to Till. We were talking about the sandwiches, how good they are and stuff. And Till goes, you know what I would do every night is I would take home an extra sandwich and I would have it and I could put it away. And then whenever I want it, I could just eat it.
Dude, that is actually a great strategy.
I had a sandwich every time I came home. It was great.
That's it. You should order 2 sandwiches, 1 to go.
Yeah, he had 1 to go, and he had it in his room, and then
at the Hilton, you got the fridge. You could like totally stash a sandwich in there, and like
totally.
you come back to the hotel room at like 3 a.m. and like just
chomp chomp chomp. Because I think they closed the kitchen probably about 11 or something, or yeah. So you gotta have one before they close that, and just hold it. Can you hold this sandwich for me?
So, Steve, if you can hear this, we need to figure out a night for you to come on and talk with us live. We'll try to do it early before everybody's too hammered. Just kind of, you know.
We'll do a PG-13
sure.
show.
I like that. Sure.
Maybe.
So.
For a while.
For a while.
We can do that
It
for
looks
a
like
while.
you got Jimbo on now.
Dude, it would actually be pretty funny to do like a censored version of the show.
Oh my God! If we could have if Jim could do some sort of like bleeping out thing, and then he could also just bleep out random words, so it makes it sound like we're swearing when we're actually not swearing, that'd be even better.
And I was imagining like bleep, 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 bleep words, and then you said the words, and then bleep, bleep, and then Jim said bleep.
Yeah, I like it.
There you go.
Jimbo Daney in the house.
I was just gonna say you weren't even fucking here.
You
weren't even bleeping here.
So Steve just said he can do next week if we want. So let's make that a plan.
Yeah.
Right.
For next week.
Because like I said before, like Orange sometimes doesn't post the shows for a few weeks or so. I want to try and get this before the event actually happens.
Yes, get these out.
Yeah, they can hopefully Orange can hear us and we should text them and let them know to.
How many live viewers do we even have right now?
But it's not just that; it's the downloads. You know, people.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, everyone who might be caring about it is like live right now. The rest of them are not.
Have you? I don't know if you guys noticed, like there's no subscription count on the Arcade Hangout. At least it doesn't show on mine. On the actual subscription, we used to have like about 200 subscribers. Now it doesn't show any. It's kind of weird.
Oh, I know that because I'm
lost
logged in.
on YouTube.
I'm logged in as.
Does it show any on your guys's?
It's
Mine says 0, which isn't true because
it's not true. It's 300 and something.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, I'm logged in as Arcade Hangout.
And that doesn't count just the audio show that Orange also.
Yeah, that's not the.
That's a separate.
That's
thing.
just the YouTube.
Just
one?
YouTube.
Yeah, because he has an iTunes one, and he also has one that's out there on the web just for download.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but it's just like a podcast download service, and that's separate from iTunes as well. So that's basically like 3 different places you can listen to the show or watch the show if you wanted to. So.
And thanks, but I'm sorry.
Sorry for what?
This.
Oh, your attempt at trying to do this?
What do you mean?
I don't know what you're trying to do.
Everything about this.
Damn, Ian Kellogg was on here? Fuck. The ever elusive
he was on just.
I know. I was starting to ask him iRobot questions when we went live. He's like, "Oh, we're talking arcade stuff." I'm like, "Sweet," and then he's gone. Like, shit. I should have been like, "No, you guys, just shut the fuck up. I want to hear what he has to say about."
Show up early, and you can
shut up. Like we talked to Ian for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. Talking about stuff we can't repeat here.
Those are the best.
And then we were going to talk about my power supply on the air, and then that never happened. But next time, I'll bug him.
Yeah.
he'll be back next week.
He's probably sick of my emails.
So let's do something different. Instead of having a question, maybe we'll come back to a question later, but maybe we could jump right into, since we didn't last week, what did Carrie and other people pick up last week?
Oh,
oh wow, pickup question.
Yeah.
Mock is our host. Mock is our host. Can you tell?
Wow. Yeah. Well, I don't have to. You can be host.
No. I don't want to host shit. You're fucking keeping us on topic. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go play some 720.
Yeah, and there were a bunch of pickups, but I will jump in with.
You do that. I'll play Tron. Sorry, Carrie. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, quite all right. I picked up what I anticipate to be my one and probably only redemption game, which I now have listed on my signature as that redemption crap. I got a Whack-A-Mole. Woo!
Nice.
Which I'm very
Do we get to see it tonight? I mean, we've seen parts of it.
I can't. I can barely keep my internet connection sitting here in my living room. There's no way I can take you out to the garage. I will say that I do my funny little stories with some of my restoration ones, and I picked up Whack-A-Mole primarily for my daughter, but at least that's my official story. But let's face it, it's fucking Whack-A-Mole. And it's fun. And so far, everyone that's come to my house, I've had a couple of collectors come and pick up some things recently, and like the thing that they're most excited about out of all my stuff is, "You got a Whack-A-Mole? Oh, that's cool!" And every kid who's come come here has either played it or wanted to play it. At first, it wasn't working enough to be playable. It is now. But yeah, so I am going to do one of my little wacky restoration stories. My daughter said I requested it specifically, and this was one of the 2 games that she has requested. She was the most excited about Whack-A-Mole out of anything that I've gotten, including when I picked her up that Mortal Kombat, and realized my daughter is an adult, so it isn't like I have a small child. Yeah, right. It isn't like, oh, Whack-A-Mole, it's only good for 7-year-olds. No. She's already.
What are you going to do with all those tickets that you win, Carrie? What are you going to get with them? The tickets will come out?
I was going to say, Andrew, we should somehow integrate that into the whack-off.
I love the idea of doing
do Wacko or Whack-A-Mole, whatever you have.
Wacko.
Yeah, exactly.
Whack-A-Mole off?
Whatever you can whack it. Yeah, exactly. Whatever you can whack off.
Whack-A-Mole off? Sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can put like little Devo helmets on them or purple helmets on them,
I'm not whacking anything off.
So cute.
Especially not a mole.
Just totally turn a kiddie game into something inappropriate.
I think one of the first dirty jokes I ever learned as a kid was, what do you see when you look down a mole's hole?
What?
Molasses.
Oh, nice.
Right? So, and ever since you picked up that Whack-A-Mole, and it's a terrible
rim shot.
Yeah,
that's awesome. No,
that was the first dirty joke I learned as a kid was molasses.
Molasses. That's awesome. That might have to make its way somehow into my story if you don't mind.
It would be awesome if actually you had a Whack-A-Mole that was just the mole's butt sticking out of the hole.
Well, I
ideas running there.
Right, because one of the things I discovered in doing this was that they sell, actually speaking, this is not just appealing to children, they actually sell like an executive model where it's a Whack-A-Mole game like what I have hidden within what looks to be like a liquor cabinet. So it closes up. It's the executive edition. So it's like a big wooden cabinet and it closes, and then you open it up and it's actually like it has room for a bar. So it has like all room for all your alcohol, and the Whack-A-Mole is right there. And if you get the executive version, and it's something ridiculous like $10,000, it will. You can tell them what you want the mole heads to look like, and they will make them into you I guess can send them pictures of whatever your ex, your boss, your whoever hated figure that is plaguing your life at the moment, and then they will custom make little mole heads for you into whatever that shape is. So
it also comes with a free mini bar.
Yeah.
I just posted a link in our chat of it.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do that on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It won't let me.
Oh,
and
shit.
I don't
I don't know how to do it either.
There is a mini bar.
There is literally.
Yep.
Holy fuck.
No, there's
it's not even a mini bar. It's a full-on bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
It's not airplane bottles. That's some real
Jeez.
shit right there.
I take my attempt at a joke back.
Yeah.
The Blues Hounds return.
I have it on my screen right now. If you guys can see it.
Perfect. There you go.
So I guess I just keep talking and then you can see it.
No, I'll present you.
Okay.
Because I got the power.
Yep. So
I've got
Whack-A-Mole that hides, it tucks away inside it.
Blues Hounds return.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep, there you go. And that is exactly what my Whack-A-Mole looks like.
And you have it's a
cool ass cabinet.
5-hole mat Whack-A-Mole.
Yes, I have a 5-mole Whack-A-Mole.
I would like for someone to play that while those bottles are sitting up top there. They stay there.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Although I do think it's not. I think it's probably not physically connected, but you're right. And risk whacking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I will say when I first got it, it was sold as working, but it was, we'll call it minimally working, because only one of the moles was working. The lights came on in the back, which, so I guess technically you could say it was working, but not in the spirit of a working game. It was, well, yeah. I mean, this is partly the story. It was disgusting. Kids had obviously, and I now have new respect for those ops who are going out there and working this redemption crap, because crap is the word. Like, it clearly, like, Whack-A-Mole was near some crane game that had dum-dums, because there were a ton of dum-dum wrappers and popped in those little dum-dum sticks, and there was like
what is down a mole's hole?
You're right. Yeah.
You have the
a lot
answer.
of, yeah.
It's actually
a lot of sticky stuff.
Not molasses. It's
not molasses. No. I've spent actually a fair amount of time looking down those mole holes at this point. I only had one of them that was working. So yeah, cleaned them all out, reseeded everything, and got to the point where I have 4 out of 5 moles working. My sound is working again, because in the beginning the sound wasn't working. And I just tonight discovered the problem with my final mole, who's not moving at all. Actually, one of the wires came out of the Molex connector for the sensors. It's kind of cool. I wish I did have the ability to quickly post some pictures. Actually, maybe somebody else can talk, and then later on I can come back and show you kind of what the bottom of these things looks like, because it's to me at least it's kind of interesting. They basically are in these cylinders. They sit in these cylinders, and then there's a sensor at the bottom, and then when it goes down, I believe that's what it is that is helping score. And it's like, it used to, back in the old days, it used to be air compressor. So the old Whack-A-Moles, you would hear the psh, 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 which you don't get with this anymore. It's now they're apparently a high, some sort of high voltage solenoid thing.
Replay this.
That's right.
Do you guys take the hammer into the bedroom?
Yeah.
There's only one mole to whack.
Yeah.
Like only one. Yeah. Oh.
That depends on who's playing.
Yeah.
I don't like this game, Carrie. It's not
I'm the Molinator.
This game sucks.
Every time we get excited, you smash it.
Seems awfully one-sided.
Stop putting glasses on.
Oh. So I believe that I am but one.
Whole thing's working, right?
But what?
Well, it's
like a hole.
one of the wires is out from the connector. So one mole is not working because I need to. I actually have the Molex connector, but I don't have the pins for it. It's a pin size I just don't happen to have. So I'm like, fuck. So I need to desperately order some stupid pins or find some place local that I can pick them up. But it seems like all the electronics stores close before I get off of work, and nothing is very close to me. So
Great Plains Electronics, who actually is a KLOV regular, they have all those Molex pins and connectors. Great Plains Electronics.
I'll take a quick look. Everybody seems to want to sell you at least $5 or $10 worth of merchandise.
I mean, you'll get them in bulk, but it's cheaper. But Great Plains Electronics, that's KLOV dude.
All right, I will take a look at Great Plains Electronics, and I have in fact ordered from Great Plains Electronics before. They saved my ass on when I was rebuilding the high voltage section there on Twilight Zone.
Or apparently the Arcade Buffet has a metric shit ton of connectors. So apparently Buffett doesn't want to talk.
Can you not hear me?
No, we hear you now. Talk.
Nice.
Oh, well, I've been hollering into this thing the whole time.
We have not heard. This is the first time we've heard you all fucking night.
Turn on your boob microphone.
Yeah.
Where did Griffin go? We didn't even say
He's
goodbye.
boobcasting to us now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I got a whole bunch of Molex connectors and stuff, too. I don't have them all listed on my site, so you just have to email me, what you're looking for and pictures so I can match them up. But yeah, I've got all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, it's just it's a .084 male pins is what I need.
Yeah, I got them.
So okay, sweet. I will shoot you. Thank you. I'll send you an email. That would be awesome.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yay! Thank you.
Yay.
One of our favorite sponsors, the ArcadeBuffet.com.
Right, exactly, and see what kind of it's like. You get an immediate response, super helpful, right there. The Arcade Buffet.
There you go.
Thank you.
Send all of your arcade questions too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hit me up.
There's
Yeah,
arcade
left
buffet
and
with
say
2
goodbye,
T's because
then
2 T's are
Ted.
better than 1.
Yeah, don't forget the
Yeah.
TTs because apparently.
Yeah.
Nice set of TTs.
Yeah.
Dude, Mike, you need to buy the other domain. Is the other domain available?
It's arcade buffet.
You need to get like the fuck up, like how like Apple has APPPPLE.
Oh yeah, mess up typing.
Like you just need to get like that, buy that domain too, and just redirect that shit back to your main domain. Because like
and buffet.
I've already got 2 of them now, so why don't you shoot me a list of things I should look for?
Well, every way you can fuck up the spelling of your domain, you should have that shit redirected to the main one.
I'm telling you what, man.
The Buff Arcade Man.
I mean, buffet.
Oh,
Isn't there a QU in there? I mean,
Maybe, shit.
buffet, is that like a French spelling of the buffet? Like,
Oh.
do that shit and make that redirect, and that way, like when we fuck up your spelling on our T-shirts, which is inevitable.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times when I type in buffet, for some reason I get fat fingered and put a V before the B. So
There you go.
all the
Well,
time.
buy that domain. That domain's got to be like what, $4 a year, and you can own that shit. And that will redirect back to your fucking main site.
Yeah. Well, send me the link where they're $4 a year because I wish I could pay that little a month. That little a year. I wish.
Yeah.
I think what I pay for now is like $15 or $20 a year for the 2 I have now. It's terrible.
I know that's like 2/3 of a cap kit.
I'm telling you.
Princess
need to get
Peach
that
JogsForever.com.
I do need to get that currency out there somehow or another.
The Arcade Boner.
The Buffett bucks, man.
That's it.
Do that.
Sounds good.
The Arcade Buffer.
I reckon.
Hey Buffett, did you get your pinball fixed for Doctor Who? Is that working?
I posted the link a while back. I guess I'll
I
post
saw
it again.
you posted gameplay, but you said it was not working 100%. So did you get it working?
Well, no, it does. Well, the 100% is the mini playfield. It's hard to get that going 100%. It stutters, it shakes a little bit, it sticks a little bit from time to time. So
Okay.
yeah, that is a pain in
That's the main part of the game. That's the main toy of the game. You got it.
I know.
It has to be working right.
I know. For the most part, it does work right most of the time. Just once in a while, it hangs up.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's the fun part. Where you're shooting the balls and knocking down the robots. That's Daleks. Is that what they're called?
Dalek. Yeah.
Dalek. I forget. Yeah.
Yeah, Daleks. So
exterminate.
That's right. Exterminate the Doctor. So I have the topper on it as well, but I don't have the servos and stuff and whatnot in there to make the head move. So I wish I could find those mods, but I'm not paying $400 for the mods and then another $500 or $600 for a head that's already cut. So I'm not going to cut, so I don't have to cut mine. So
yeah, mods are an expensive hobby. I'll tell you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if anybody got one, yeah, I'd be more than happy to trade for it somehow or another.
You gotta really want it. You gotta ask yourself, am I gonna be keeping this pinball for a while?
Well, girlfriend likes this one, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that video of you surprising her with it was so awesome. That was just so great.
Yeah.
Saw that, huh?
I loved watching that.
I want a surprise like that.
Right?
I surprised me. Look what I sold, all your pinball tables.
Yeah.
Look, I got about $1,000 for him. Yeah.
Yeah, $1,000 for them. They're $8,000 each. Oh, really? Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you told me you bought them for like $300 a piece.
Oopsie. Yeah, I know. You told me you only paid a couple grand. Oops.
Yeah.
But I got $100 each for your Devo hats.
Yeah,
that's right.
Hey, Devo hats aren't cheap.
Wait, what do those cost nowadays?
Oh, when I got them, they're about $25.
Yeah, now
what?
what?
Like 8-10 years ago or something.
Yeah,
so
how much today?
10.
I think they're 30. So
Last I remember, you were saying was about 30 to 34.
yeah, they're plus shipping.
Yeah.
I was surprised that all three came back not cracked or damaged.
I know. Like I was trying to like be so careful. Like we were all wearing them, and I'm like, oh, I want to be careful like with them.
Especially after you guys were spinning on your heads.
We were getting all hammered. It's like, they're like kind of hot and sweaty to wear. So it's like, it's like
all that breakdancing you guys were doing on your heads with them. Yeah.
But like, I never wanted a Devo hat until this show. Really, like maybe I want to hang a Devo hat in here.
Yeah, they're fun.
Just hang it, just suspend it from a random spot in your.
Well, no, but the ghost is wearing it
just floating right here.
But the thing is, like, it's not even a Devo hat anymore. It's like it's our show hat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like sponsor.
It does represent this place.
It's Steve has made that part of the show, and it makes me want to have it because of the show, not because of even Devo. I like
T-shirts. Instead of T-shirts, how about we just brand those?
So you could put a Devo hat on top of that Stormtrooper helmet over there.
You like that? Yeah, I could put a Devo hat on that fucking guy right there.
That's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
That'd be a great Halloween costume. I'm the Devo Trooper.
But like, no, it's like,
yeah,
I want to have it as part of our show. That's a part of like.
We should implement that into a logo or something. That might be kind of fun.
That should be part of the Arcade Hangout thing. Yeah, it's a Devo hat. It's like the dude I drew doing horrible things.
Oh, you mean the guy hanging from a rope with the Devo hat on?
Yeah, that
Arcade Hangout.
That's not really fun.
Well, how'd that even come about? Like you're talking about, like coming up with a new logo instead of the.
No, I was actually that was the I was playing with my new iPad with the pencil, trying to draw that. I was like, oh, I could do it like a Devo hat. That's cool.
Yeah. I thought Orange was thinking about changing the logo or something like that. I don't know. But yeah.
No, we've talked about it.
Yeah.
We just need to figure out what we're going to do.
Or symbols, I think. So, yeah, I kind of want a Devo hat someday.
Yeah. We have it leaning against the.
Well, if you're a good boy, maybe Santa. Oh.
Yeah. Let's make a list. Things I've bought since becoming part of the Arcade Hangout.
Oh, right. Actually, that's a good question. Like,
that's a good question. That is a very good question.
What are the symbols of our show? Right now. Are you speaking into a giant dick microphone? Because that's a symbol of our show.
Or a snowball.
Or a snowball. Wait, snowball?
That's what this is called, the snowball. Hello.
I just got the Donger 2000.
What does it taste like?
Tastes like lemon.
You've come a long ways.
All I know from Snowball is like what I learned in Clerks.
What, Yellow Snow?
Urban Dictionary?
No, that's a Clerks thing where it's like
I remember that part.
You come into a girl's mouth and she spits it back in your mouth.
Oh.
Yeah, and you trade it back and forth.
Joke's on you, fuckhead.
I don't know about trading it back and forth.
And
like
the
once is enough.
rating is gone.
So now.
But if she did that, she would have to say, "Ha ha! The joke's on you."
The second half of the show has officially started.
Yeah.
You swallow it.
Now.
It's Dante's girlfriend Veronica that did that to I think the guy named Liam in the show.
The stoner guy, his nickname is Snowball, and the reason why, this is a Clerks thing. This is not. They make this shit up. It's like
I've seen that movie many times, man.
Yeah,
many times.
I've seen it a couple of times.
That's where I learned what snowballing is, and that's where you come in a girl's mouth and then spits it back in your mouth.
I will have to pass. I'm sorry.
No, le gusta. So, nice microphone.
Thanks.
Thanks. I like that.
So, racist jokes? Where are we on now?
No, not.
Okay, so I would pass it
Let
on
me
the
get my
pickups
foghorn
to
leghorn going here.
Because Jim got a couple of pickups too.
Yeah, who else has pickups? Jimbo?
Yeah. Since the last
Wait, Jimbo. Yeah, what's there on the side of Cheyenne?
Yeah.
Oh, that's I talked about that, didn't I? On the last show before.
No,
not officially.
The Toki cabinet to be
not officially.
Yeah, you did a little bit.
I thought I did. I thought the only one what I didn't talk about. Yeah, it's a Robotron cabinet with silkworm in it. So that will be Toki. Actually, Carrie, we found a Dead Nuts match of vinyl that I'll be using, a gray vinyl. It's freaking sweet. It's kind of like that aluminum texture, like the little. It's like a textured gray. But it looks like metal. What would you call it? There's a name for it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they call it. Like stone something or another.
It's like it's etched
anyways,
almost or something.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So it's got like a texture to it. It's not just a flat gray, but it matches the Toki title and the grays in the side art really well. So it'll be good. So yeah, but that'll be Toki eventually, and then off to that taken apart is my Super Hang-On that I picked up. Actually, what's funny is that when we were in Denver, I was texting back and forth with the seller on that Super Hang-On. I'd been going back and forth for like 2 weeks. So it's one of those things where they had a price listed. And I wanted, and it was too much, and I gave them an offer because at the time the sound didn't work. So I gave them an offer. They thought it was too low, and I'm like, well, here's how I arrived at my price. These go for X amount of dollars typically, this range. The sound doesn't work. That could or could not be an expensive fix. So that's how I came to this. But if you good luck with the sale if you decide if you want to negotiate, because they didn't counter offer, which I fucking hate. so I'm like, okay, good luck. And then when we were in Denver, time had gone by and they're like, well, how about this much? And I'm like, that's a good price. And it was a good price. And so I came back, went out there with a buddy of mine. It was like kind of like a barn shack, dirt floor, and but it was in really good shape other than the yellowed cowl, which is not on it right now. And but we get it
on the floor.
Yes, yeah, because I just painted. Well, that's a whole nother story. I'll get to that in a second here.
And what about those shorts? Cause
I know, man, kicking them live.
Damn.
No cargos though. Sorry to disappoint.
I'm sorry you're not
back and eat down there, by the way.
Yeah, they can almost fly for boxer shorts. But what was I? Oh, so we get out of we get to this place. We get out of the car, me and my buddy.
Wait,
and
did we possibly interrupt you while you were telling a story? That's like fucking impossible.
I love that story.
No, it's good. It's good. I need it. We get out of my buddy's van, and what we hear is Super Hang-On music. I'm like, fuck, they got the sound working, because they didn't have the keys for it at the time. They found the keys, and it just happened to be the volume pot.
Right?
Well, that's what I was afraid of. And the guy joked. He's like, well, we got the sound working, so I don't know. We may either keep this or charge you twice. But he started chuckling. He's like, no, I'm just kidding. And I'm like, thank God.
How far did you drive for this thing?
It was about half an hour.
All right, so
it wasn't bad. Yeah. So they had the keys and everything like that. It's got a K7000 in it. The only thing that was bad about it was the plastic, which on all these Super Hang-Ons is yellowed from over the years. Because I think what does it is there's some sort of like fire retardant agent in there, and that's what causes the yellowing over time. But
I heard it has UV lights from the room too. That's what you do with changing it yellow.
Well, I think that's what it's supposed to trigger the stuff. But I think what Jim said was true, which is that they build some fire retardant into the plastic.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Eventually starts seeping out, which changes the color. So there's like a yellowing that comes from like sun bleaching, which we see on the side of cabinets all the time, right? Side art gets bleached.
Right.
Yeah. But so like NESs and SNESs and all that stuff, it's like It's actually, even if they're kept in the dark, but like over time, they release a chemical that was originally meant to keep the plastic from being flammable or melty or whatever, and that releases over time, and that discolors the plastic over time. That's what
gassing, or they're
it's basically like outgassing or an oxidizing that happens over time. Yeah, which obviously is the same thing that happens with all plastics in general.
But isn't supposedly there's some sort of like treatment you can wash over? And bring back the white.
Right. So that's the Retrobrite, the bleaching material you can do. So Jimbo, you can talk about
I've done it with buttons before. I did it with Red Tent, and it worked really well. The problem with this, and I was actually just about to talk about the paint and why I went with paint, and then also talk about a really good fuck up that happened. Sorry, I didn't bleep that out. So what ended up I decided I did a little research. I had seen people that had really good results painting this, and the big reason for me why I didn't try retrobriting. So to explain what retrobriting is, it's a chemical solution. It's mostly hydrogen peroxide, and you can use like what's the little detergent like this? There's it's like a powder. It's OxyClean. Thank you. And basically those combined with a UV light basically makes a chemical reaction that brings the white back. It restores the color, the white. And it worked really well on the Nintendo buttons that I had. But the problem with this cowl has all of these different, it's a big piece, and you can add like a gumming agent to it to make it into a paste and paint it on. But the problem with this is that where my apartment is, I don't get really good direct sunlight on my balcony. But the big thing is that there's all these angles and curves and stuff, and in order to get it be nearly impossible, even I have UV lights, even at that, it's really tough to get that even. And you really need an even light. And so I would have to like hope for good sunlight and every few hours rotate it. And it sounded like it'd be way more of a pain in the ass than to fucking just paint this thing. And so that's the route I went. And I went with Rust-Oleum, just some spray paint and some stuff that bonds to plastic. And got everything. I took Goo Gone and stuff. And there were a couple of really damaged decals on there. This thing's just covered with decals. I mean, it looks like what you'd expect on like a racing dirt bike. You know, there's all these logos and decals. It's really cool. But there were a few that were beyond saving, and so I used a heat gun, took those off, cleaned up with Goo Gone, made sure everything was perfect, primed it, painted it, and it turned out fantastic. So I did 2 coats of primer, 2 coats of white. It looked awesome. And then I decided I was going to clear coat it too, just for added layer of protection. So I put the coats, so like most Rust-Oleum spray paints say, okay, you put on 2 to 3 coats within under an hour, and then you let it cure for, a couple days. Well, I decided, so I got the white done, turned out great. I let it go for 24 to 30 hours. And then I was going to go out there and clear coat, and I had Rust-Oleum clear coat, same series, the 2X stuff, right? Well, and this is totally on me, but I didn't read the instructions completely, and it says that for plastic surfaces specifically, it takes 5 to 7 days for maximum adhesion for it to completely cure. So I go out there, and this is like 24, 30 hours later, and obviously it feels great to the touch, whatever. I lay it out there, and I start clear coating. I start spraying it down. And actually, I'll show a picture here, and let me share something. There. So I started spraying my clear coat on, and I noticed I got a little bit of overspray. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, so I go grab my roller, and I start to wipe it away. I come back, and literally, this is like 30 to 60 seconds later, right? And this is what it looks like.
The
whole thing just looked like someone just, yeah. I'm like, I basically, this was no kidding. This is exactly what I sounded like.
What is this?
I like seeing your soundboard.
Actually, that's funny. We can see your soundboard for the
soundboard
first time.
before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
What's the bullet body type?
Grow an ass.
Oh, Buffett.
Yeah.
Yep. So I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely just dumbfounded. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Everything had just like lifted up, and now I'm sitting there, and what do I do? Like, what do I do? Do I try to fix this? And this is like last week Thursday, and I had this game plan. Everything was going perfect according to plan. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this thing clear coated. I'm going to have it all done by the time Carrie gets here. It'll be perfect. And I was just absolutely just shattered. Like, I didn't know what to do. So first thing, this is like 7 p.m. I have about an hour of daylight left. And so what I do is I go out there, and all of those wrinkles and crinkles, it was lifted up. So like if I took an X-Acto knife, it would just peel right off. So I do some really light sanding, and I get all those areas down to the plastic again. And I think, okay, well, I'll just prime and spray over this again. And I did that, and I thought it was going to look okay, and it bothered me. It just didn't look right. I thought I could do it. I'm like, no. So the next day,
your cowl.
I was just yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was heartbreaking. Because I spent a lot of time
prepping.
So anyways,
yeah.
So then I decide Friday. I got out of work early.
The OCD got the best of you, and you resanded the whole thing.
Right.
I didn't sand it. I didn't sand it because I didn't want to really scuff everything up, because I had tried that. I took my orbital sander with 220, and I was just like, there's got to be some sort of chemical that can strip this without harming the plastic. Yeah. But I'd read, like I looked up, and I'm like, what would work? And I remembered, I've got this brake clean, or not brake clean. I've got this graffiti remover. It's supposed to harm plastic. It's just supposed to remove spray paint. So I'm like, I will try that. That's my game plan. I get home, this stuff doesn't do a damn thing. It's like I might as well spray water on it. I'm like, this is fucking a joke. And then people talk about brake cleaner, but I read that it can harm plastic. And I'm like,
brake clean can eat plastic,
yeah. And so I'm like, oh crap. Well, I can't remember. Like, some people have referred to this as fiberglass, or is it plastic? What is this? Yeah. So so I test on the bottom. Like if you orient it up, the very bottom, like where the control panel is, an area that you don't see. I took some brake clean, and then I took a magic eraser, and the stuff came right off. Basically, the brake clean did exactly what the clear coat did. It destroyed the paint. And it lifted it up. It lifted it up. Like you let it sit for like 30 seconds, and it would just like spider web and crinkle and all that stuff, just like that clear coat did. And but it took forever. And so I was using, it was a combination of the brake clean, the scraper, a plastic scraper, and a magic eraser. And I went through, I had to make a run to Home Depot to buy 2 more cans of brake clean. I went through 3 cans of brake clean, about 10 magic erasers, and including El Cheapos.
So the paint job cost you like $120.
Yeah, right. Actually, thank goodness they had a sale on brake clean. It was only like $3 a bottle, and I bought the cheap magic erasers, not the Mr. Cleans, because I couldn't afford to spend that kind of money. Yeah, I didn't have that ready. So here you guys go.
Oh, that's what it looks like.
See, it's not even a PC name; it's Oriental Riff. Yeah. Anyway,
Jimbo, you talk about like this with.
What happened?
Wait, what? So I was just saying, all your challenges, like with this, the clear coat, but like you're talking about like waiting days afterwards, and I'm just like thinking about the red tents and how we were laying down the automotive paint.
Oh yeah,
those. And it was like, it's wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Like once you do all the prep work for
exactly,
that's why
I was down way off.
lay down like the sealer, and then lay down the base color. Do maybe a couple coats of the base color to get like a good coverage, and then boom, you're like onto the clear, and it's like we're talking about like all told, including like flash time or dry time between coats, it's like minutes. I mean, so your problems with like the clear just like
I was in the wrong window of time is what happened, because I did so anyways, the long story short, I got all the paint off with it took me I'm not kidding, I'm not even stretching this out here, to the time that I started at about 1:30 in the afternoon. I finished after I made a trip to Home Depot. I was done at I was out of daylight. It was 8 p.m. I added it up. It was like 7-ish hours, 7.5 hours. And then I had to mask it again and do the blue, which is the biggest pain in the ass. Yeah. But my problem was, I figure, is that so the second time I painted this over, it turned out great, but the second time I did it, I did 2 coats of primer, and then I did 3 coats of white gloss and did it all together. My problem was I should have just done the 2 coats of white like I did the first time, and then clear coated all in the same, session, rather than waiting a day and then clear coating.
Right.
You mean clear coat it right after you spray painted it in that same day?
Yep. Same day. Just wait, because I was doing.
Isn't that too wet to do that? Doesn't it cool up?
No, because it's dry to the touch in 20 minutes. You want it slightly tacky if you're going to do another coat in that same session.
Like you need to do it like immediately or wait like a long time for that paint to
a long ass time. Because like when my problem is that I was gauging this based upon doing like metal and wood surfaces, which is different.
Yeah.
It would have been fine if it had been any other surface, because when I did like the CompuVen novelty machines, that was steel, and that was just fine. I would wait a day, and then I would do another whatever. I would wait a day, and that turned out fine. But this was another story, and I didn't think that I needed to wait. It was either do it then, right away, or wait a fucking week.
Yeah, that's it. Like I think that Sam talked about that a little bit with like the automotive paint, where it's like, either you do it as like, sealer, base, clear, done. It's just like all one session, where it's like the whole thing is done like within less than an hour, with a shitload of parts. Like you're done in an hour.
Yep.
Or it's like sealer, base, wait, and then if you can't do the clear, then like walk away. You're done for a week, and then you can come back to it.
Well, and this is a prime example of A, I didn't read the fine print close enough, but B, my impatience killed it.
Yeah. But like I think your patience like seemed logically right. Like how you'd approach painting seemed right. It just the reality is that like you have to with the plastics, with the outgassing and all the rest of that shit. It's
I had the same exact thing happen to me. The same exact happened to me on the Outrun when I was doing my controller. After I spent all that time, working on it and fixing it with the plexi or the fiberglass and all that sanding and all that shit, I got it all nice and ready. And then I painted it or primed it, and then painted it. And then I did the same thing Jim did. I put the clear coat like a couple days later, and the same exact result that Jim had. I'm like,
it was like, what did I spray on here? Paint stripper? It's like, holy fuck.
And it's funny, I did exactly what Jim did too. As I fixed, like I sanded the areas
and it just doesn't
damaged,
look right.
And then I tried repainting it, and then you get all these discolored areas.
And
it looked like camouflage. So I ended up having to sand it all over.
Oh man,
it sucked.
Oh. What were you going to say, Gag?
Yeah.
You asked me about the brands.
Because and I had a feeling. I'm sure you checked it all and did it right, but my wife had a thing where she hand painted a table, like very decorative, and I think they were water-based paints, and then she wanted to clear coat over it. Well, the clear coat lacquer or whatever it was had a major chemical reaction and just like ruined the whole paint job. And she spent like a week hand painting it all.
Well, naturally, I'm sure you guys would do the same. The first thing I did when I started panicking, and then I went on Google, I'm like, clear coat ruining paint, and just pages and pages of stuff. And I went on forums, and one of the first things was what you said, Gak, where if you mix match stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like it's like a Rust-Oleum versus like some other like Ace brand or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that's what I don't get. These are the same exact fucking like series. And
I think that was like the second question I asked you too, Jim.
Yeah.
Private when we were talking about. It's like, are they the same brand?
I took a picture.
Yeah. You showed me the two cans side by side. It's like there's fucking Rust-Oleum.
Yeah.
Same exact brand.
I was
like the same Rust-Oleum, the same Rust-Oleum brand, like sub brand.
Yeah. And the funny thing is I told Carrie this when she was here, but I'm like, I finished painting. So Carrie came out on Saturday, early evening. I was literally pulling off masking tape about 20 minutes before I had to leave and pick her up at the airport. But I did 2 coats of primer, and then I did 3 coats instead of 2 of white gloss, because I'm like, I like a tiny part of me was like, oh, I've got all these cans of clear. Maybe I should just clear it now. It'd probably be okay. But I'm so fucking paranoid that I'm just gonna do one more coat of white gloss and just be done. 3 coats, it'll be fine. But it was funny because that night, so that was last Thursday, I had I had terrible luck with the paint on Super Hang-On. Carrie was having problems of her own with Whack-A-Mole, I think. Andrew had problems. You had problems with Megatouch. We all were having problems. Yeah. We all had terrible problems, and then the next 2 days we had good luck. It was like last Thursday, the arcade gods were just like, huh, you're all fucked.
Yeah,
it's like,
pretty much.
All right. Well, you muscled through. We'll give you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I did, but Jesus. Yeah. Anyways, that was a lesson learned. Long story, I know, but
looks like you picked up
everything's
too. On the floor behind you. On the floor behind you, looks like
I picked up a couple of TV good candidates. Craigslist was full of free TVs today. Free good ones too. The one here is going to be for Super Hang-On. I'm 99% sure it's a K7000 candidate.
Looks like it has a darker tint on it also.
Yeah. I mean, it's a newer TV. It's a Magnavant. It'll work. I'm sure it's a skinny neck. And that's what my Super Hang-On is. And then the other one showed up. It was funny. It was a Craigslist ad, and it was like, cool retro TV produces retro white noise. You know, they had it on. It was just like a TV snow. And I'm like, that's great, free. And so I picked both of them up because I didn't look at the date yet, but it's the wood grain. It's very similar to the Zenith I had as far as like the style goes. It's got the old school knobs, and so I'm hoping it'll be a 46 or 4900 candidate again, or maybe a Geo7 if I'm lucky. But it's identical, other than the brand, to the 49 I used in Cheyenne, or the tube I used for Cheyenne. So I picked those up right before the show.
Nice.
So yeah. But yeah, Super Hang-On, everything works. I have a long list of little things, little mods and stuff I want to do. I've got decals coming, and so I'm hoping to wrap that up. But it's just going to be a partial restoration because all in all, it's in pretty good shape. The only cosmetic stuff is really the cowl, and I got to burn some free play ROMs for it. I'm getting new handlebar grips, things like that. I want a LED, the speedometer, the 2 of the gauges that are backlit with incandescent bulbs, and so little tiny things, but the game works, so it should be a pretty quick little restore. Then I can move on to Toki. Yeah.
What's that shit you're wearing, Jimbo?
Well, I've worn this one a few times, but Andrew likes it because it's Guinness.
I do.
This was the event. They no longer do it. It's called St. Practice Day. It used to be a pub crawl that would happen a week before St. Patrick's Day.
Oh man!
And you'd get a shirt, and then you basically got discounts in all these bars when you'd go in. So it was a big shit show. It was a lot of fun. So this is from I think like 2014 or something like that.
I love the green. I love the stout. That's gorgeous.
It's one of my favorite shirts. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
You wear it well.
So yeah. Anyways, that's my live and learn story, and I'm excited to have Super Hang On because it's my first racing game, but I used to play the fuck out of it. Actually,
is it your first driving game here?
It is my first driving game.
Yeah, like that.
And it's the same. I think it's the same hardware or similar hardware to Outrun.
It's the scaling technology is like the birth of it, I think, from there.
In fact, the free play ROMs are in the same series as the Outrun ROMs.
Which one's the one I'm thinking of that looks sort of like pole position, but with a motorcycle?
It's this
kind of.
It's
same kind.
It's more like Outrun, yeah. But yeah, yep. And I like it's got a turbo button, but it's a square translucent button, but it never came with a light behind it. So I think I'm going to put a light behind it. It's a cool game. Like it's got the grips are actual like dirt bike motorcycle grips, so you can go on Amazon or whatever. They're 7/8 inch grips and buy replacement grips for them. You got a regular throttle, a real brake.
Are you gonna do the old mushroom grips?
There you go, the ODI mushroom grips. The BMX crossover there.
It's got one thing I need to figure out is I have to take apart the handlebars and see if it's got a rumble motor in it that different from Outrun. It's not it doesn't just turn on engage when you run off the tracks. It's going all the time, and it increases based on how much throttle you've got. So it's more like an engine rumble. But apparently I'm hoping that it's just disengaged because a lot of people turn that shit off, but hopefully the motor still works. I gotta look at that. But no, I'm really excited. It's a fun game. I like the music in it. The turbo button's fun. You know, once you hit like max speed, you can hit the turbo button, and it's kind of like Excite Bike. You know. So yeah,
nice.
It'll be fun, and it's got a short, slim profile. I like that too.
It's like almost a cabaret. It's a pretty small cabinet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's shorter than
that kind of a footrest thing on the bottom too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that big. It's almost like an Atari Zybots. It's like those or like Vindicators, like one of those bases. That's like the long, heavy rectangular. That's where all the weight is. It's like a pedestal almost.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's a cool game. I was excited. I was excited to get one. I had passed on one a while back that I almost regretted because it wasn't a bad price, but I definitely got a better price on this one, especially since everything was fully working. I'm happy about that. But yeah, that's my story, and there it is.
Sticking to it.
Who else picked some shit up this week? Gak.
I might have picked
again.
up.
It was like a bobcat.
Nice. I know, right?
That was a carry bump.
I might have picked up the cabinet.
Yeah.
That, and then here's a Gak spike.
Yeah.
I picked up some arcade games.
You're gonna clear your throat a bunch.
Yeah. Don't ever do that again.
I might have picked up a cockpit. How big is too big?
Yeah.
By the way, Gak, I was a little bit jealous. I told Carrie straight up, I'm like, I don't. Other than T-Mech was the only cockpit game that I own, but that cabinet, I'm not going to say what it is because that's you. But it's such a slick profile. And after watching Andrew play one at Fun Spot, I'm like, that's one that I would probably just pick up blindly if one came up for that. It's such a slick cabinet. It's so cool. And yours, the art is perfect. Like it's awesome.
There's actually like 3 things I picked up in the last week or so.
Yeah.
And a partridge in
So I think the first thing I picked up was the Pyros. It was so I've been looking for another JAMA I like the joust cabinets for like a horizontal machine just to like stand up in front and have as just a JAMA game to swap out games, like Rastan, Toki, all those. So actually I have one already. I have one already, but it's kind of set up as a 2-player, and I wanted one as like a single player, so the joystick's centered.
Yep.
8-way 2-button setup. So this one had popped up a week or so ago. Really pretty clean cabinet, converted, obviously painted black. The game was turned into Pyros, which I never even played it. I don't really remember it back in the day. It's sort of kind of reminds me of Willow, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. I haven't played that one forever.
That's
also
a terrible fucking game. I hate.
Yeah,
I hated having to charge your shot all the time in Willow. That's what killed that game for me.
I honestly,
the third
I just
fucking
like
boss in Willow. That game is fucking impossible.
Oh, it's so hard. And they tried to make it like Ghouls and Ghosts, but they just failed, I think.
I can't speak for the
it's so unfair and frustrating.
I like put in I don't know how many credits into Willow, and I've never.
Right.
I have a fucking board, and I cannot beat it.
Yeah.
Even on fucking free play.
Just like a sword dick.
Who made Pyro?
It's lame.
Well, who was like the produced, like who manufactured those?
Capcom.
Stupid, worthless, no good, goddamn Willow, son of a bitch.
It's PS1.
Pyro says Taito or Tato on the marquee, but it just really has a feel of that.
It's Tito.
Capcom. Tito, yeah.
Taito.
Sponsored by
3 syllables.
Corn chips.
Yeah.
Tostitos. That's like the Dorito song.
I'm a pretty cheap buyer.
That was the best drive ever.
Oh my
That's a
god.
Dorito song. Actually, Carrie's like,
yes.
I need to download that song now because it'll be forever the Doritos song.
Dude, our fucking
Uber driver just
our
didn't know what to
driver was
think.
so confused by how fucking funny that shit was that he had playing.
We were all kind of riffing off each other, making comments and joking around, and the guy's just like, "What are you guys doing?"
That was the best. That was the best drive to the arcade ever.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I missed it.
Yeah,
That was the 3 of us going over to 1-Up.
yeah. Callbacks on Friday. Yep.
Where you guys were already inside, we were waiting outside, waiting for you guys. And we're like, where are they?
You guys were over in the liquor store. We were driving over there.
Yeah.
No
We
way.
were waiting outside for like 20 minutes. Like, where are
I had
they?
my
And you guys were in the whole
backpack,
time.
and, I had my backpack with stuff in it, and somebody needed me to go out there because they didn't want to carry around their stuff, so they put it in my backpack.
Stuff.
The stuff, So.
Yep.
It was totally legal stuff.
Yeah,
No, nothing illegal.
It was legal.
It's totally. I said it was totally legal.
Griffin drank almost all of it by himself, too.
And you wonder
Swipe
why
fuel.
he just dropped off.
Why we
What happened to Griffin
could
tonight?
never find him the entire fucking weekend.
Yeah.
What happened to Griffin tonight, by the way?
Yeah.
He just,
Well, I
just
told
disappeared.
Andrew. Speaking of Griffin, you guys will. I think like this. We were talking. Me and Carrie were talking this weekend talking about Griffin, about Denver a bit, and and I came up with a genius idea. I'm like, we should have just confiscated his phone and be like, you get it at the end of the tournament.
yeah.
I know.
He never would have
All
left
your
us.
scores.
That's right.
He's all like,
It got to be annoying, though.
hook up with Denver chicks, like swipe.
Yeah.
What do you think of this one? What do you think of this one? Yeah.
I'm going for a high score.
Yeah.
If I got a nickel for every time we had to go look for him, though.
Oh my God. Needs a leash.
Pissing off.
Tie him
Yeah.
up to like a Turtles or a 6-player X-Men cabinet.
And
or
then on
something.
top of that, he misses the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
All right, made for a
Photo
good
shoot of like 10 of us.
opportunity. Yes, right.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, back to the Pyro.
Sorry, Gak.
Yeah, that's all right. So yeah, I haven't played it at all other than tinkering with it at the guy's house before I loaded it up to make sure it was working. That's what I do. I like buy a game and then it goes tucks away hidden in the arcade for months, years until I get to it.
Well, you picked up space now too.
yeah, that's another story. So, so anyways, all right. So I get the game. You know, now it'll be an awesome one that I can drop JAMA games in 8-way 2-button horizontal monitor. So perfect.
Cool.
And then a few days later, I don't know, having some conversation with my son, and you know, I was kind of complaining a little bit, saying like, man, you know, I bought a quote unquote beer fridge maybe a year and a half ago, but it's really a wine fridge. Can you guys hear me? Andrew's like locked up. Okay, there. I didn't know if my thing locked up or not. Anyway, so
you got a kegerator or something?
Well, no, no, it was actually a wine fridge that I got that I wanted as a beer fridge. So this is about a year and a half ago or something.
No.
Anyway, so yes, exactly. That's the problem. You put it to the lowest setting possible, and it's just really not that cold for beer. So after a while, I was kind of like, you know, my wife's got plenty of wine stuff, so I'm like, let's just turn it into a wine fridge. And so I just kind of kept my beer in the regular, you know, in the kitchen. So, anyways, it just kind of sort of on a whim.
Where do you put all your other food and vegetables and?
Exactly. Yes, that was a complaint I was getting. Like, you're taking up half the fridge space with all your damn beer, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, and this is a problem.
Better than your stupid food.
Yeah. So my son was like, you know, you should look into getting a fridge for your beer or whatever again. So I'm like, you're right. So I just started looking like on a whim, and you know, seeing like Red Bull fridges, because I'm thinking something perfect for 16-ounce cans, because that's pretty much what I buy.
Yeah.
Exclusively now is 16-inch beers, 16-ounce beers, and so it's perfect size for if it's Red Bull or not Red Bull, Rockstar or Monsters. So got lucky, found a Monster fridge.
Moonraker.
Yes, there we go. Moonraker in the Monster fridge. So I just totally lucked out. The guy was like 2 miles from my house. It's a brand new fridge, and yeah, so it's all hooked up in here, sitting next to me. Oh, there we go. Nice. Shazam! Don't wait too long, you know.
We're drinking these next Wednesday.
All right, that'll work.
Got a plan.
So
I'll do pig.
So yeah, it'll fit 55 cans. So the front lights up with the logo, the Monster.
55. Holy shit.
Yeah,
that's like 5 times 10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, 5.5.
Yeah, 5.5.
I give it a 5.5.
So then we'll get to my last pickup last weekend. So I actually I think maybe I saw it online, and then I linked it to you guys in the chat, and I was like, oh man, you know, like, so I sent an email, and the guy didn't respond for like 2 days, I think. And so he basically said, yeah, it's available, it's yours if you want it. And so I'm like, okay, cool, I can come get it Sunday. So I got a Road Blasters cockpit. So been looking for one of those for 2 years.
Now is that, I can't remember, that's a 19-inch with a magnifier to make it look like 25, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It looks like a 25-inch easy.
It does.
You know?
It's because it's so it's like slick. It's a really narrow profile.
It is a big, long machine, and it's very freaking heavy, by the way.
Okay, that was my next question. So it doesn't break at all. It looks like
no, it's just you cannot. There's sections you can remove, but it's still all one piece.
Really?
Yeah, how did you? It was just you and your son, right? How the fuck did you guys?
The guy we got it from. So it's actually on wheels. It seems like a lot of those cockpits, like I want to say Star Wars even has some wheels underneath it.
It does.
K-Mech has them too. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, the guy said there's like 4 or 5 wheels under it, and he's like, yeah, we can roll it out to your truck. And I brought a couple dollies. So basically what I did was we lifted up the back end of the machine and put it on a little flat dolly, you know, and then my son got on the dolly end and me and the other guy took either side of the front end of the machine where the monitor and where the heavy weight is, and we lifted up the front of the machine, and my son pushed it forward so we could just get it up over the tailgate. Once we get it on the tailgate, it's on wheels, so
They
like
can pivot it.
you get that heavy weight up in front, and then you basically just lift up the back end and it rolls into the truck. So once we get the front end in, it wasn't so bad.
Nice.
And then just basically do the reverse of that when we got home. And 2 of us were actually able to take it out of the truck when we got home. So
Wow.
Okay.
That's impressive.
Yep. So
it's good that you had boys.
The artwork on the back looked gorgeous.
Yeah, it's in pretty good shape. I mean, it's got a few, scrapes and bumps, but I'm fine with that. That does not bother me at all. So
Now, the real serious question: how's the monitor? Does it need a cap kit, or
it actually looks really good? It needs some adjustment. The image is like shifted off to one side a little bit, and I asked the seller about it too, and no, it's not vertical collapse or horizontal in it.
Will you do my cap kit for me?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna yank it and put an LCD in. Just be done with it.
Oh no!
nice.
But you put a trackball in for like the steering.
You just got trolled.
Yeah.
You just got maimed.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Oh no!
Ouch.
The steering is acting kind of weird, so I'm just gonna put a trackball in place of it. Yeah. So the sound crackles a little bit, so I'm sure just needs some cleaning, reseating stuff, hopefully. But so I coined it the cock blaster because it's a it's a road blaster cockpit. So
I'm picturing the Crossfire commercial with the kids playing the little like BB game, where they have the little guns that shoot BBs.
Okay.
Crossfire. I'm picturing a commercial like that for cock blaster.
Yeah, there you go.
Cock blaster.
So now, once I'm done rearranging a little bit, I'm going to have 3 in a row. I have pole position cockpit, stun runner cockpit, and now road blaster's cockpit, which I'm calling
stun runner would look awesome next to, because that's a narrow one too. Or
right. It's open top profile. Though. You kind of sit on it. So
I actually play stun runner.
There you go. So I got the cock blaster, the cock runner, and the cock
position.
Pole. Yes.
The cock position.
Cock position. And then in the far corner is the Star Wars cockpit. So that's the Cock Wars. So
Cock Wars.
So
that's a lot.
So I have 4 I have 4 Atari cockpits now.
Yeah, you do. God damn, dude.
So you've got the lighter ones. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Real light.
Oh, jeez.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good deal, definitely, and fully working. So I'm really happy about it. So, yep, those are my pickups. And yeah, so you mentioned about freeing up space. So my wife, twisted my arm and said, why don't you grow an ass and get rid of some of this other crap? No, so
I'm sure that was a very difficult conversation to have. You argued with her about getting a storage unit, right?
Yeah, because a garage is a normal household. Your garage is for vehicles and just like storing stuff, right? Well, my garage became my arcade, so all the stuff that needs to be stored in there is what's kind of cluttering things up. So that kind of storage type stuff is going into a storage unit. So
no.
I don't know. I got to figure out a way to get through all that stuff, but in the immediate future, I'm going to get it looking good. So I'm happy.
Well, now you have a dedicated space that's equivalent to swiping, like swiping dirt under a rug. That's where you just put all the shit and you don't have to make it all organized. It's out of sight, out of mind, right? Yeah.
Well, I got some bins, so everything's like pretty well organized, and I know what's in each bin. So,
Well, and we need to have like a gnat sack.
A gnat sack?
Yeah.
Oh, Sacramento gnat?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
There you go.
A gnat sack.
Kicking it into the gnat sack. All right.
Just
Maybe
saying, at some point, we need to have a gnat sack.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So just be prepared for the gnat sack at some point.
All right. There we go.
Hey, welcome back to the party.
Oh my
How's
God.
Comcast?
I am just a real ad for Xfinity Internet. Jeez.
Oh, we're getting you.
Yeah.
We're getting something. All right. Hey. All right.
Oh my God.
Welcome to American Online.
Yeah.
No. Can't
You've got mail.
Yeah. I'd be better off with a fucking tin can and a string.
Hello.
She's dialed into
What?
She's dialed into CompuServe using Netscape Navigator 3.0.
God, I remember that. That was one of my first web browsers.
I love Netscape. I miss Netscape. Actually,
Be sure to install your Shockwave player, please.
I remember the first search engine I used was called Web Crawler. This is like Yahoo.
Wow.
Remember that?
Yeah, well, I remember Alta Vista was the hotness for a long time.
Alta Vista.
And then we swapped over to a Metacrawler.
Yep.
Which would search multiple websites.
So, and Dogpile.
Remember Ask Jeeves?
Ask Jeeves.
Oh, yeah.
I never used Ask Jeeves as a serious web.
I didn't either. That was lame.
I like
something my parents
Dogpile.
would use.
Yeah. Fucking AOL.
Oh, I remember Dogpile. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Dogpile. Yeah.
Dogpile. Oh, wow. Blast from the internet past.
Alta Vista. Alta Vista was totally like the hotness before Google was Alta Vista, period.
Or Yahoo was before.
Yahoo
was
had
terrible.
it, but Alta Vista was like the one like the cool kids went to. That was the hotness.
If you had real specific searches, like Yahoo was good for like 2-word searches. You know, like if you need anything like complex, you went to Alta Vista.
Yeah. The best result.
But you had a search engine based on what you were searching for. Like it wasn't there wasn't an all-in-one solution really, like a go-to.
Yeah.
Are we done tonight? Should we shut this shit down?
Yeah, I have to get up early.
Yeah, Steve, you were saying earlier you got to
Yeah, I got some work to do tomorrow.
God knows my internet won't last for more than another probably 45 seconds.
All right, so Carrie, why don't you just bring us out then?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, but
now that you're on the show,
I know, right?
You're
Gak's
live.
I'm live and I'm here. I'm sorry that I would do the Miss Marianne thing of looking through the looking glass and saying thanks for being there, all the folks. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to hardly look on the chat because of that. But I know we had Brian Frober a little bit, Gus Scott. We had the Time Runners, Steve, of course, Steve from Grinker's Grand Palace. We are dying to see you, my man. It is going to be so much fun. That's it. We've just been killing time so we can get over there. And Orange Whip, get your ass back in here. Tell your wife to, tell her coworkers to fuck off. She needs to come home, take care of the kids. You can start this shit up, and we don't have to be stumbling all over ourselves trying to figure out how to do this.
Let the woman
Fritz,
talk.
yeah, exactly. Fritz, congratulations again for winning the tournament. We do suck, but you're really good at this shit. So we are proud to have you amongst our group. We hope you come back and join us next week when maybe we'll have less of a shit show, but really no guarantees because it's us. And with that, have a great week, everybody out in the chat and out in the world. Hope you all get grails, and we'll see you back here next week.
And I guess we're not picking another arcade game for the week then, right?
I think we need to figure our shit out.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk about it.
Yeah, and how we can do it so that we can participate and have fun. Because it's a really fun idea, and I want to play games. So
yeah.
Shall we play a game?
Everybody.